I have seen so many men struggle with performance anxiety, and it's heartbreaking because it's just not talked about enough. And they tend to take things really personal and feel like they are not a man anymore. Like it really affects their masculinity. And I just want you to hear this. This is not a reflection of your masculinity. This is actually a biological and a physiological response that we're going to break down together. Trying to conceive isn't just a physical journey. It's one of the most mentally and emotionally demanding experiences a couple can go through. And it's time we start talking about all of it. Hi, I'm Denise Erez, your fertility godmother, and this show is for the woman who wants to optimize their health, who is trying to conceive and wants real, honest support, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, without the overwhelm. Because this journey isn't just about getting pregnant. It's about who you become through it. And you don't have to navigate it alone. So take a deep breath. You're in the right place. Let's do this together. And welcome to the Fertility Godmother Show. Have you ever felt like the pressure kicks you in your butt and your body just isn't responding? Or maybe you're watching this because your partner is really struggling right now and you're not sure what you can do. You're not alone. Performance anxiety affects millions of men. And yes, even the most confident ones as well. But here's the good news. This is a temporary situation and you can absolutely overcome this. And I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do that today. So you're going to want to stay to the end. Hi, I'm your host, Denise Erez, lovingly known as the Fertility Godmother. And I help women and couples overcome their fertility struggles naturally so that they can get pregnant, stay pregnant, and have a healthy baby without putting their life on hold. And yes, that absolutely includes men because let's be real, it takes two to tango, and intimacy and fertility, really, it's a team effort. We're going to dive into what's really happening in your mind and body, how to shift from fear to confidence, and practical strategies to get things moving again. And listen, I have seen so many men struggle with performance anxiety, and it's heartbreaking because it's just not talked about enough. And they tend to take things really personal and feel like they are not a man anymore. Like it really affects their masculinity. And I just want you to hear this. This is not a reflection of your masculinity. I want to say that again. This is not a reflection of your masculinity. This is actually a biological and a physiological response that we're going to break down together. So actually what's happening when performance anxiety kicks in, we're going to talk about the science here. So when we are stressed, we have a physiological response. When we're I don't know if you've ever heard of the saying, when you're in your head, you're dead. So what happens is when you start thinking about all the pressure and wanting to perform and wanting things to go right and wanting to please and all the things that you're starting to stack on, and then you start to worry if it's going to happen again. All these are thoughts, and this affects how you feel, and if how you feel is going to affect what you do, and what you do is going to affect the ultimate result of what you have. So it's really important to understand that when we get in our head, we are dead, right? And it's not just during intimacy, it's in other situations as well. And so what happens is your nervous system gets into what they call the fight or flight. That sympathetic nervous system is activated. And when you have that activated, blood just doesn't flow into those areas that we need it the most, right? It doesn't flow into our reproductive organs. And so because you need it in the extremities in order to run, right? Even though we're obviously not running from a tiger, our nervous system, our brain still senses fear, still senses danger from the fear, from the thoughts that we have, and then it reacts because everything is made to protect us. So when your brain starts to see intimacy as this high performance, stressful task, or maybe even a test, instead of that connection and a natural, enjoyable experience, things shut down. It's very normal. Also, when you're stressed, cortisol kicks in, and cortisol will mess with testosterone. But worst of all, what happens is a cycle of fear is created. And it can get worse and worse and worse. Worrying about what if it happens again, worrying about being judged by yourself, by your partner, feeling embarrassed, feeling like you're not doing your manly duty, you're not doing your manly performance. All these things start to stack and stack and stack. And then that becomes your connection to intimacy. And that's where we get in our head. Does that make sense? Can you relate to that? But here's the thing. Most guys react to performance anxiety the wrong way, and it's not their fault. Nobody talks about this, but the way you respond can either make your cycle or make it worse. Here's what not to do. Overthinking, right? Thinking, is it going to happen again? Is she going to be disappointed? What is she thinking? Why can't I just snap out of it? Blaming yourself for thinking you're not man enough. This is not a reflection of your masculinity. This is a normal stress response. And there could be some lifestyle factors that could be affecting you that are contributing to the stress and making it worse. Things like lack of sleep. Maybe there's work stress or other family stresses, and nutrition matter more than you realize. But here's the good news. Instead of letting this control you, let's focus on what actually works. Here are 3 of the biggest ways that can actually help you regain your confidence, control, and most important, the connection. Number 1 is stop trying to perform. When you are having intimacy, remember that the reason you're trying to make a baby, the reason you want to grow your family is because you have so much love for each other, and really focus on the connection and the intimacy. Get back to that. Remember when it was fun, maybe when you were first dating, maybe you got into this routine of, watching the clock, and maybe it just became too much. So get back into doing things that are fun, help you shift the pattern, and plan for that attempt that may not work, because you need to start building that muscle, start building those neurons in your brain again to recreate the patterns. And remembering those times when intimacy was special, when you had those special moments, remembering those times and really focusing on those and recreating those, or even recreating new moments. This is really important because, again, when we start to get in our head and we start to think of all the things that have gone wrong, you start to feel really stressed, because how we think creates how we feel. And it's going to just create the same cycle. So really, everything is about the patterns. So if we can start shifting those patterns and breaking those patterns that you started stacking on each other and making it really heavy, that is going to make a huge difference for you. So really focusing on pleasure and connection and playfulness, maybe slowing things down, maybe focusing on sensations instead of expectations, right? Really manage your thoughts. It may be challenging in the beginning, but you can do it. And it's just like building a muscle. Everything that we do, everything that we create comes from our thoughts, and we can actually control those thoughts. But it takes conscious effort. It takes work. And first of all, it takes awareness. So you're aware. Now, let's interrupt that pattern and insert other things that are going to help you become more intimate and connected and revive that passion again. Which brings me to step number 2, which is reprogramming your mind with new associations. Right now, if you're struggling, it's because intimacy started to be connected with the pressure and the frustration. And guess what? The more your brain expects failure and starts thinking that you're going to fail, guess what's going to happen? Yes, it's not going to work again. So visualize those positive experiences. Really get connected. Have a conversation with your partner about it. Have a conversation instead of feeling bad if it doesn't work again. What can you do instead? And start playing with that and get creative again and rebuild that passion. There's so many ways to have intimacy and pleasure and connection. And so remember to just start there. Sometimes we just have to take a little step back or look at things in a different way to remember and reconnect. This fertility journey can consume you. This is very common, and it happens so often. And then also, you want to create new fun experiences. Go do something different. A lot of times we get in this routine, this monotonous routine. You go to work, you come home, you have dinner, you watch TV. You go to work, you come home, you go to dinner, you watch TV, you go to bed, right? It's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Do something different. Plan a date night. Go watch a comedy. Go dancing. Just do something fun like you did before. It's so important to keep watering the grass, as the analogy I love. We have to water the grass on our side. Otherwise, we look over the fence and we think that the grass is greener over there, but we have to water our own grass to keep it green. I love that analogy. I hope that makes sense to you. It's so important to keep the relationship renewed and refreshed, and do not let this fertility journey consume you. And you have to take an active part in that. It's really, really helpful when you start to take action and just create that joy and that passion again in your life. And then the third thing is, let's just talk real quickly about some hidden lifestyle factors that could be contributing to this. So things that can kill confidence are poor sleep, having less than 7 hours of sleep average, high stress with no outlet, and nutrient deficiencies such as magnesium, zinc, and healthy omega fatty acids. So the first one is stop trying to perform and focus on connection instead. The second one is reprogram your mind and create new associations to intimacy. Really try to have some fun with that. Bring that fun, that joy, that connection, bring it back in. And the third is, let's get on top of those lifestyle factors that could be sabotaging you. So now that you know the why and you know the how, it's time to take some action, because you deserve to feel confident again, and you deserve to have that connection and that intimacy in your relationship. And you deserve to enjoy making a baby. Which reminds me, I just want to add one more thing in. We're making a baby, but intimacy in a couple's relationship is more than just that. It's not just to procreate. We want to have that passion, and we need to nurture it as well. So here's your action plan. Try those 3 shifts that we talked about today. Stop the self-judgment and know that this is normal and it is fixable. We got to get out of the head or we're dead. And if you want more personalized support, I'd love to help you. Drop a comment below. What is your biggest takeaway from this? And let's start the conversation. It's so important to have this conversation and normalize it, because it's normal. And when we start talking about it, we can help each other understand and know that, and break those patterns quicker. You've got this. I'm Denise Erez, your fertility godmother, wishing you a happy, healthy pregnancy.